Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate. Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're back talking all things real estate. And today, Patrick, we're back. I've got some headlines.
More headlines.
Let's see
what's going on.
So these are headlines from the Canadian press. And there's something here for Vancouver, something here for regarding Calgary, and something regarding Montreal. So I figured that would give us a kind of broad brushstrokes of what's going on.
Okay, so it's a bit of a national picture on what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
The headline reads, Greater Vancouver home sales rise as inventory reaches levels not seen since the pandemic. So let me synopsize that right down to the brass tacks, okay?
Didn't we, like, during the pandemic, it was always, like, there was very little to choose from, so, like, that fear of missing out, like, if it wasn't this house, like, we don't know when the next house is coming along that'll fit. There was so little to choose from.
At least for us here.
This was, like, everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. So to say, like, oh, look, we've got more than what we had in the pandemic, well, that's, like, the bottom of inventory. It was turning over so fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so now inventory.
But it's at least moving back, I guess, is the point, from where they were at.
Yeah. So we're increasing inventory. It's not a reason to panic.
Yeah. So we're talking about April now. So the reference is this, that the number of homes that changed hands in April rose just over 3% in Greater Vancouver area.
Super.
So now, in terms of what the other part of that headline is, the number of Metro Vancouver homes listed for sale rose 42.1%.
Okay.
And to a number that is 16.7% above the 10-year seasonal average. So they're saying it marks the first time that figure has exceeded the 12,000 threshold since summer of 2020.
You know, it's kind of, it's always interesting looking at numbers, data, statistics. What the real estate boards don't track, like, they report it every month, but they don't track it and make any charts of it, of, like, how many total listings were listed. Not that they were sold, they only give you the current inventory.
Right.
So in listings may be up. I'm going to take Victoria as an example because I know the numbers. Mm-hmm. So, like, if it was 2021, we did like 10,000 sales. That's about 3,000 more sales than the historical average. So the 10-year average is something like 7,000 a little bit. So, you know, but we complained about not having enough inventory the whole time, but we did more than the 10-year average. So right now we're looking at, like, sales are down from sales have gone down, basically bottomed out in 2023, and now 2024 we're starting to see an increase.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're not having as many sales. Those listings that have been on the market are staying on the market longer, and it's just reflecting in a greater inventory to choose from currently. So it's not like we're flooding the market with inventory.
Yeah.
And there's been some rule changes. If it's capital gains, if it's been like short-term rentals are like, I guess as of May 1st, they're banned or they have to comply with these rules.
Yeah.
But really, like even talking to other realtors, Vancouver and Toronto markets, it's hardly made like a lick of difference for inventory or sales of condos that are like less than 600 square feet.
Yeah. Okay.
So just to add some context to all of that.
Yeah. I guess my take out of all of this is that the market is starting to move. And we could reasonably say that we see what happens in in Vancouver eventually spill over to Victoria.
That's the pattern, yeah.
So, you know, the market is moving. How's that?
Yeah, the buyers, you know, you can keep telling buyers, oh, the interest rates are going to go down. The interest rates are going to go down. You know, life is going to be better. Eventually, buyers, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
Policy changes, stress test, GST goes to HST goes back to, all these different things that affect buyers' behavior or buyer sentiment wear off.
Yeah, and they adjust.
people adjust and they move on with the plans in their life.
Yeah.
Maybe they go to a plan B, but they move on. So there we go.
Okay. The next headline, Calgary home sales jump in April being driven by lower priced houses.
Right, because 37,000, not just British Columbia, but I know the number. It's like 37,000 and a little bit in 2023. British Columbians moved to Alberta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
what's there? Jobs, lower cost of living, clients that we've sold properties here on Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
And where do they go to? Not always Alberta, but many have moved to Alberta, cashed out on a smaller property here,
Yeah.
then bought a whole detached house over there.
yeah, beautiful home in whether it's Edmonton or Calgary or somewhere in between.
Or all the towns in between.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's, strong economy, there's great family life, that kind of thing.
Taxes are different.
Taxes,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so the brass tacks of that comes down to this is April home sales were up 7.3%. So,
That's positive.
yeah, it's very good. And the benchmark price is up 9.9%.
Benchmark price is up 9.9.
Yeah, 9.9% from last year and 1% from March.
Yeah, I was just speaking to a realtor, different company, doesn't matter, Remax agent over in Calgary, and he was saying like he's dealing with multiple offers, like it's quite busy there at the moment.
Yeah.
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 Somebody that I was able to refer over there that was looking for an agent, but they're moving to Victoria, so I connected them with a great agent, trusted agent that's over there as well. So
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
So what they're saying is they are seeing an increase in supply. Now this is obviously the Calgary market. This wouldn't be Victoria's market. An increase in supply of homes priced above 700,000 because of the interest rates, the higher interest rate. So people are going into a home that's under that price point,
Okay.
or more people are. Okay.
That's fair, because if you looked at the last year's, now I know this is the current snapshot,
Yeah.
but if you look at CMHC's survey of 2023, so this is on mortgages, it was somewhere between like 60% of the sales were under the median price average. So depending on where you are, if you look at nationally, it's one median, but like for the provinces,
Yeah.
it's slightly less. And it's more like 60% of the buyers are buying under like 750.
Yeah, and so here's the final part to this, is that properties were on the market for an average of 20 days before selling in April, which is down 14.4%.
Oh, so yeah, things are moving quicker.
So they're moving quicker.
And that reflects on the sales and that.
That's right. So certainly we're seeing it from, it's probably a more brisk uptake than we see the Vancouver report, but certainly it's picked up in Calgary. Okay, here we go. Number 3, Montreal home sales up 25% in April as expected rate cuts prompt recovery. So they're saying that in Montreal, they're saying, well, the interest rate is going to come down, so people are making a move.
They're jumping
now.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I wonder what 25% means in like actual monetary amounts. Does it mention it there?
let's just see here. So the median price was up 6.5%.
Okay.
So, median price for a multifamily is up 4%, and median price for a condo went up 2.7%.
Okay, so it's all a little bit positive over there.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, they're calling it a very reactive recovery due to the expectation of an imminent return to a downward cycle in interest rates.
We shall see.
We shall see.
In the end, right?
But I think what we see from all of that is what we've been saying, that people still need a place to live, and the market continues to correct, and it is correcting now. So, whatever that looks like, but people have figured out a way to navigate what we call the new normal, or whatever the situation is right now.
Yeah.
So, I think if you're watching this and thinking about getting into the market, we've said this repeatedly, find out where it works for you from a price point and a location and everything else, and look at getting in the market now, because we expect once those interest rate adjustments come that the price will adjust. It'll be a reciprocal adjustment.
Which one do you want? You can get the interest rate now,
right?
And the home at a lower price,
right?
And then even if the interest rate goes up, you're locked in, let's say.
Yeah.
But as it goes down, even if you're locked in, you have the same payments. You know what you're going to pay.
Yeah.
And but it's going to be reflected in the price again.
Yeah.
So your home will go up in value.
In the early 70s, people held out because interest was 7.4%.
Okay.
So people, or somewhere in that neighborhood, let's call it somewhere 7-8%. And people decided that they wanted to stay out of that market, and they were going to wait for the interest rates to come down. So they chose to rent.
Yeah. And what happened?
The interest rates came down in 22 years. So when those people went with the better interest rate to re-enter the market, the home prices had quadrupled.
Right. So waiting to make decisions can cost money. And I talk, like, if you haven't heard this already before, I talked to the kids about this. They're not of age where they can get mortgages yet, but I'm planting all the seeds about home ownership, getting on it as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Even if they don't move into it, they rent it out. Start building that equity somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I almost don't mind that the short-term rental thing is banned. Like, it sucks for a lot of people that invested in real estate. Investments are risky. Real estate is not a foolproof investment. Things can happen, obviously, as we've seen in recent years. I just think it's like, now that's an opportunity to get into. I don't care if it's a micro condo. Like, find another use for it. Maybe it'll still rent out. Maybe it won't cover itself. But get in the market and start building up equity, because those low prices on things like those micro units won't stay that way.
Yeah.
Eventually, right? People will get used to it, and they'll take the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it doesn't come with a parking spot, storage, anything like that.
Right.
But it's still a smart idea if that's your only option in that location. Or you go to a plan B. You go to somewhere where, instead of a micro condo in Victoria, Vancouver, something like that, you move some elsewhere where there's work that you can apply your skills, get the wage that you're looking for, or the housing prices are less money and your wages are less money, but you can actually enter into the market and still achieve that dream of home ownership.
Right. Yeah. So, that gives us an idea of where the market is right now, and just based on these latest results and research, we're seeing it starting to move upward, and we're hearing repeatedly about the expectation once those interest rate drops come. Right? I think we talked about this on a previous episode that BMO did a survey, and 70% right now are waiting.
Oh, they're waiting on their hands, or sitting on their hands.
It's waiting for that price drop or interest rate drop to come.
So there's a built-up of demand. So
Yeah.
do you want to be shopping for a home when everybody else jumps on board?
Right.
I have more too. So what if you're an immigrant, you came to Canada 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you got a foreign buyer ban, and you're basically forced to rent. And in the meantime, you're building up equity, your plan is still to buy a house.
Yeah.
Those people are going to start to trickle back onto the market at the same time.
Yeah.
Once they achieve their permanent residency, they have enough tax filings here in Canada and whatever else they need to qualify to avoid the foreign buyer ban, foreign buyer tax. And what do you think they're going to be doing? They're going to be buying homes.
Yeah.
So they're going to start, even though the ban is extended until 2027 for foreign buyers in Canada, that's going to start trickling back onto the market.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a check. It was sort of like a check valve.
Yeah.
But it's going to start letting off steam soon.
And so the point of all of that is, I think, and we've said this also, is if it makes sense for you to get in this market, with the interest rates and everything else as they are right now, we're saying when is the best time to buy?
When you're ready.
Right. Yeah. Right now. If you're ready, right now. It's like the old saying, when is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When is the next best time to plant a tree? Today.
Yeah.
So if you're ready, this is a good time to get in the market.
Some wisdom. Do we have any quotes, any movie quotes, TV quotes about wisdom?
Wisdom. Let's see. Do I have a good?
I don't know.
No, I'm thinking. I'm just trying to think. Did Yoda say something? All I can think of is, wherever you are, there you will be.
Oh, wow, is that obvious? That's awesome. I'll be where I'm at.
Right? Well, thank you for joining us today. If you haven't, please take a minute, subscribe to the channel, like the video. It just helps us with getting the word out. We're putting out regular content every week. I think we're like somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 or 5 episodes. So you want to make sure that you don't miss anything. So if you do that, that would be great. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Check you out in the next video.